Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the David Hittle Real Estate Show. We're coming to you live today. It is Sunday, June 26th, 2022, and it is 2 p.m., which means it is time for another episode of the David Hittle Real Estate Show. Today is officially Log Cabin Day. So if you have any interest in log cabins, I can send you a link to my my log cabin listings. I actually have a list of log cabin listings for all the log cabin lovers out there. So today we are going to talk about how home ownership is a great hedge against the rising inflation that we are seeing. Of course, home ownership is very important for a multitude of different reasons, but home ownership as a hedge against this rising inflation that we are seeing is a different animal altogether. And then we're going to talk about, sort of on that same vein, how much the average homeowner has gained in equity over the past year. And finally, we will talk about why it is absolutely essential to have your real estate agent price your home when you plan on making some moves. So, everybody, sit tight, get ready, put your seatbelt on, and get ready for the David Hittle Real Estate Show. Before we get started today, if you have never visited my website, or if you have visited my website and just was clicking around, you can visit my website. It is shopkentuckyhomes.com. And on that website, you can do everything from getting your home's computer generated valuation to finding homes in your particular area, in an area you want to live in. You can even get market reports and see the latest seller guides and buyer guides, all on shopkentuckyhomes.com. So visit shopkentuckyhomes.com today for more details. So, how is home ownership a great hedge against the impact of rising inflation? Of course, if you have been following the news, you have probably heard that inflation has reached a 40-year high. And according to the National Association of Home Builders, they are the National Association of Home Builders, consumer prices accelerated again in May as shelter, energy, and food prices continued to surge at the fastest pace in decades. And this marked the third straight month for inflation above an 8% rate, and was the largest year over year gain since December of 1981. So we have inflation that is impacting gas prices, it's impacting food prices. It's now going to start to impact housing prices, and it's already impacted housing prices. Don't get me wrong. Inflation affects every type of product. So that would include lumber, that would include wood, that would include glue, and then, of course, inflation also causes wages to have to go up as well because there's so much competition there. So, inflation has been impacting everything and now is starting to also be felt in the housing market. So, with inflation rising, you're likely feeling the impact of that on your day-to-day life as prices of groceries, gas, and more. And these climbing consumer costs can put a pinch on your wallet and make you reevaluate any big purchases that you have planned to ensure that they are still worthwhile. But if you are thinking about purchasing a home this year, you are probably wondering if you should continue down that path or if it makes more sense to wait. And of course, the answer will always depend on your situation, but home ownership can help you combat the rising costs that come with inflation. And here's one big reason: home ownership helps you stabilize one of the biggest monthly expenses you have, and that's your house. If you rent, your rent likely goes up with every lease renewal or every year. Your home price, your mortgage rate, only goes up if things such as taxes, property taxes go up, or your insurance costs go up, which are two things that may actually be going up soon. But you can plan for those based on the assessments, and you can have your home reassessed when it comes to property taxes. And you can always, and I would 100% ask all of my former clients, all of my current clients, everybody, find great insurance. Check your insurance rates every year to make sure you have the best rates possible. And that keeps your mortgage payment down as well. But home ownership helps you stabilize your biggest monthly expense. That is your mortgage or your rent. Investopedia explains that during a period of high inflation, prices rise across the board. And that's true for things like food, entertainment, and other goods and services, even housing. Both rental prices and home prices are on the rise. So, as a buyer, how can you protect yourself from increasing costs? The answer lies in home ownership. Buying a home allows you to stabilize what's typically your biggest monthly expense, your housing costs. When you have a fixed rate mortgage on your home, you lock in your monthly payment for the duration of your loan, often 15 to 30 years. James Royal, he is the senior wealth management reporter at Bankrate, and he puts it this way: a fixed rate mortgage allows you to maintain the biggest portion of housing expenses at the same payment. Now, as I said, sure, property taxes will rise and other expenses may creep up, but your monthly housing payment remains the same. And that certainly is not the case if you are renting. So even if other prices do increase, your housing payment will be reliable. That can help keep your budget in check. And if you rent, you don't have that same benefit and you won't be protected from rising housing costs. Another reason why homeownership is a great hedge against rising inflation is that investing in an asset that historically outperforms inflation. Looking back over the past whole bunch of years, all the way back to the 1970s, during the 1970s, we were experiencing a 7% average inflation rate year over year. Eh, However, the average home price appreciation in the 70s was almost 10%. So your home's value was rising at a faster rate than the average inflation rate, which was great. The 1980s saw it a bit differently, where the average inflation rate and the average home price appreciation rate were about the same. But in the 1990s, we were seeing about a 3% inflation rate versus a 4% home price appreciation rate. The 2000s, it changed again to be the other way. But in the 2010s, it shifted back to where we had almost a 2% inflation rate, but an almost 5% home price appreciation rate. 2020 blew that out of the water completely because the average inflation rate in 2020 was 1.4%, but the home price appreciation rate was 9.2. And finally, 2021, which is the latest figures we have, last year we were averaging about a 7% inflation rate, but we were averaging a 15% home price appreciation rate. So your home's value is keeping up with inflation and surpassing what inflation is taking away. That equity is money in the bank, money in your home that you actually can use. However, it is there, and your home is a type of forced savings. So, the bottom line here is this: if you've been thinking about buying a home this year, it makes sense to act soon, even with the inflation rising. That way, you can go ahead and stabilize your monthly housing cost and invest in an asset that historically outperforms inflation. So, if you were ready to get started, we should connect so that you have expert advice on your specific situation when you are ready to buy that next home. And you certainly should. And if you are just interested in looking around and seeing what is available, you can certainly do so on my website. The website again is shopkentuckyhomes.com. And on there, you can find your next home. I promise you, your next home is probably on my website right now. You just have to start looking for it. Another reason why home ownership is such an important tool and part of the American dream, and it's an important tool towards your net worth, is home equity, as I was talking about previously. The average homeowner gained $64,000 in equity over the past year. $64,000 on average. And again, the equity is the current value of your home minus what you owe on the loan. So uh, if you owe $200,000 on your home, but your home is worth $300,000, then your equity is $100,000. If you were to go and sell your home today, you would pay off the mortgage of $200,000 and you would have $100,000 in profit before you take out expenses for your realtor, for taxes and all the other things. But that is your in between. Equity is how much you have in your home, how much your home is worth minus what you owe on it. And today, based on recent home price appreciation, you are building that equity far faster than you may expect. And here's how that works. Because there's an ongoing imbalance between the number of homes available for sale and the number of buyers looking to make a purchase, home prices are still on the rise. That means your home is worth more in today's market because it's in high demand. Patrick Dodd, the president and CEO of CoreLogic, put it this way. He says that price growth is the key ingredient for the creation of home equity wealth. And this has led to the largest 1 year gain in average equity wealth for owners. So basically, because your home value has likely climbed so much, your equity has increased too. And according to the latest home equity insights from CoreLogic, the average homeowner's equity has grown by $64,000 over the past 12 months. Now, the average home equity gains are different all over the country. The national average is $64,000, but the average equity gain year over year here in Kentucky was $22,000. Up in Indiana, it was $35,000. Over in Ohio, it was $27,000. Down in Tennessee, it was $66,000. And then, of course, in really nice places like Florida, it was 90,000. Texas was 54,000. Hawaii was 139,000 in the negative. So pro- equity values in Hawaii's market is declining versus the rest of the country. Or maybe that is an increase. I guess it's an increase. They put parentheses around it to confuse me. Sorry. So Hawaii has seen an increase of $139,000 year over year. California also $141,000. But you see how the different areas, the different parts of the country have different home equity increases. And the opportunity your rising home equity provides you is that in addition to building your net worth, which is important, equity can also help you achieve other goals like buying your next home. So again, when you sell your current home, the equity that you have built up comes back to you in the sale. In a market where homeowners are gaining so much equity, it may be just what you need to cover a large portion, if not all, of your future home's down payment. So if you are holding off on selling, or you are worried about being priced out of your next home because of today's ongoing home price appreciation, you can rest assured that your equity can help fuel your move. And again, bottom line here is this: if you are planning to make a move, the equity that you've gained can make a huge impact. And to find out just how much equity you have in your current home and how you can use it to fuel your next purchase, we should connect so you can have a professional equity assessment report, what I call a pair, on your house. And that will tell you how much you have in equity today. And you can get what is called a comparative market analysis on my website at shopkentuckyhomes.com. But if you would like a professional equity assessment report, then you have to contact me. And that's because we have to know how much how much you have left on your loan in order to determine what your equity is. I can give you a home valuation on your home without knowing your current mortgage situation. However, a professional equity assessment report requires that we know how much you have left on your loan so that we can do that minus what your home is worth. So, in actuality, if you order a comparative market analysis through my website, shopkentuckyhomes.com, you could take the number that it gives you and minus it from how much you owe on your loan, and that would actually give you your professional equity assessment report. But if you don't want to have to go through the trouble of all that, just contact me, David Hittle, with United Real Estate Louisville, and I will prepare your professional equity assessment report today. So, finally, why it is essential that you have an agent pricing your house when it comes to selling. Why it is essential. So when it comes to pricing your house, there are a lot of factors to consider. The only way to ensure that you price it right is by partnering with a local real estate professional, me. To find the right price, your real estate professional uses their expertise on the value of homes in your area, the condition of your home, where prices are heading, and current buyer demand. These things ensure that you are not over or underpricing your home for the market. Because if you overprice your home, if the high price tag may deter buyers, it is likely to sit on the market for a lot longer, and you may need a price drop, which can raise red flags in the future. If you underprice your home, it decreases your future buying power. It leaves money that you could have earned on the table, and it risks buyers assuming that something is wrong with your home. However, if we place your home on the market at market value, then you're more likely to get an offer at or above your list price. A fair price helps boost interest in your home, and it is likely to sell quickly. So don't pick just any price for your house. If you are ready to sell, we should connect so that we can find the perfect price for your home and so we can find the perfect price for your next home as well. So, everyone, I thank you for watching the David Hittle Real Estate Show here live today. Again, it is Log Cabin Day here on Sunday, June 26th, 2022. And I want to thank everyone for your continued interest and continued watching and listening of my show. Next week, we will be doing another open house on at 3106 Maywood Place. So if you would like to come out and check out Maywood Place, that would be exciting for everyone, including myself. And until next week, I want to thank everyone for your continued support and for your continued advice and creativity for me in everything that I do. Because as a real estate agent, without you, I don't have a business. And I want to thank everyone for being there and for participating and for just helping me through this whole process and making me a better real estate agent every single day. So until next week, I want to thank everyone for watching. If you missed this episode, you can always go back and check it out on YouTube or on Facebook. And until next week, I thank you all. Enjoy this weather and enjoy your home and your family and your life. Just enjoy it all. Thank you. Have a great day.